Let's do it now.
Turn up the volume nice and loud. Cause we are controlling transmission with dance beats and R&B. Dawn Marie. You're in the mix with Lil Drummer Girl. With your host, Dawn Marie. In the mix.
Hello, my lovely drummies and drumettes. Welcome to another episode of The Little Drummer Girl. Today we have a super special guest. His name is Lawrence Lipbone Redding. He's an award-winning vocalist, guitar player, voice instrumentalist, storyteller, songwriter, author, teacher, and traveler. He is best known for his one-man orchestra show, simultaneously playing, singing, and making the instrument sounds with his mouth without the use of a loop pedal. He incorporates a full spectrum of musical styles from American roots and jazz to throat singing and Indian classical. Native from the farmlands and beach towns of coastal North Carolina, his mama's soul, boogie, blues, and disco records had him interested in music, art, opera, books, and theater, and he often dreamt of traveling to exotic places. And at the ripe age of 21, no longer able to be contained by a small town, he escaped to New York City and discovered improvisation, comedy, jazz, modern art, dance, and performance art. We have so much to talk about with Mr. Lipbone Redding tonight, so let's get him on the air. Hey, Lipbone, how are you doing this evening?
Hey, how you doing? That was a cool introduction. Thank you.
You're welcome. You have such an amazing background. I don't even know where to begin because I can't believe how much you can do. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I'm a man for all seasons, I suppose. Yeah.
I have to say, when I saw you live at Kathy's house a few weeks ago, I was just blown away by your talents. And not only as an awesome songwriter, because I thought your songs were like amazing, but the storytelling, which, by the way, you just had me in stitches. You're so funny. And then the sounds that you made with your mouth, well, you know, I just was blown away. So let me ask you this question. How young were you started doing music?
Well, I guess when I was 5 years old, I took some piano lessons, and I guess that's probably a good start. I didn't really stick with the piano, though. It was that, you know that, what do they call it, the Suzuki method, and it's hot cross buns, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You know, that one Mississippi, two Mississippi hot dog thing? Yeah, it was that thing. So, you had to bring your parents with you when you took the lessons and did the recitals, and I remember my mother at the time, she was wearing a wig, and I don't know why. She thought it was the fashion or something. And she was wearing this wig, and when you do the recital, you have to introduce your parents and say, hey. And I said, this is my mom. She's wearing a wig. And then I played then I played hot cross buns and Mississippi hot dogs. But, that's the way it goes.
It sounded like you did a lot of traveling, and then you ended up in New York, and you were playing in the subways, which you were actually playing in the station that I used to travel back and forth to work every day in Soho. What was it?
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
Spring on the number 6 train. I was working as like a carpenter, doing a bunch of crappy jobs, things that I didn't want to do in New York City.
I hear you.
And then my hands started to get all messed up, and I was like, I got to start figuring something else out. So, I took to the street.
Nice. So you were able to make a living just doing that performance every night, every day?
Yeah.
And you were able to survive?
Yeah. The first time I went down there, my friend Tofu, his name is Tofu. He asked me if I wanted to go down there, and he said, man, you should do it. You'll make some money. I was like, I didn't believe him, So we went down there, and he kind of taught me a couple of tricks, where to stand and how to stand in front of the people and how to play, whatever. I don't exactly know. Not how to play, but like just some tricks, whatever. And we played, and I made some money the first night, and I was hooked. It's like a drug, man. I was like, oh, my God. If I can make, $60 in a couple of hours, I don't need to go get a job.
That's right.
So,
that's right.
Yeah, I just kind of
in a couple hours.
Yeah, no kidding. That's how that happened,
That's awesome. While you were playing down there, did you ever come across anyone, like maybe from the industry, that might have like said something to you or try to get you a record deal or something? Did anything spur from that?
Oh, lots of people, man. Isn't that the problem, though? It's like everyone says they're going to do something for you, and then at the end of the day, you just have to learn how to do it for yourself anyway. Even if people do stuff for you, it seems like So I had so many people say, oh, man, I want to get you on my record. I want to introduce you to this guy. I want to do that. And, out of it, for every, 20 of people who said something like that, maybe like one person, you get a free meal out of it or something
right.
like that.
They actually did.
So, yeah. But, but mostly just the kindness of strangers was really, that's what blew my mind more than anything. How, New York has a reputation for being really rude and harsh and cold, and it can be, honestly. Mm-hmm. But as an artist, as somebody who's just kind of bearing their soul, deeply public place, intensely public place, and making yourself vulnerable, I was really surprised at how wonderful and warm people could actually be. Just people on their way, like yourself, back from work or wherever.
Can I put a side note on there? They probably weren't New Yorkers.
Yes, no, it's interesting. No, the people who were the crappy ones were the ones who were not from New York, and
really?
the people who were working every day and working down in Soho, they kind of got to be a regular crowd for me, because I see the same people, and they'd ask me how I was doing and what I was up to, and then so I started form relationships. I'm a very kind of I'm a people person, as it were, because I really believe in that kind of a connection in an artistic sense too. So I don't know. It keeps me in a certain place, I think, as an artist, in terms of I'm not really going after the big fame thing. I'm just I'd rather go for people who really care and want to be involved in whatever it is that I have to offer. So I think that kind of dictated the shape of my artistic career from there on out. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
That's really great, because I think, especially your storytelling, because I was feeling the things that you were talking about, and you have like this great way of explaining things that I could just see these visuals when you would say these words, and you're describing certain situations, and it was just like I was there. So you're a great storyteller. But you perform over like 200 gigs a year, and you travel by your van, yeah? And so how do you keep your vocals from burning out? Because can you give us a little sample of, or after you?
Sure, you're like,
I'm just like, I want to hear
I could go on all day. I could go on for hours, but anyway, there's a little bit for you.
Thank you. But how do you keep your vocals from burning out? Because that's a lot of strain on the vocals.
Well, the first thing is I don't party like I used to. That's one thing. And I don't smoke anything, but that doesn't mean I don't know what I can say. It's a podcast, I guess. I guess I enjoy cannabis as much as the next person. I just don't smoke it anymore. How about that? I try to do healthy things too, and I've turned into like a vegan. I didn't want to say it because I don't want to be one of these these militant vegans. I'm not like that or anything, but I've just tuned my life to around the music and around knowing that I'm going to have to get in my beautiful flying machine, which is what I call my van. And I'm going to have to take off in the springtime and head out on the road and be circumnavigating the country for almost an entire year.
Wow.
And then I got to take care of myself. You got to do that. You got to think of the long term. When I was younger, I didn't think of the long term, and now I'm thinking, whoa, this is, this is all I know how to do now, and I do it pretty well, and I've got my stuff together. I'm very thankful for the opportunity to be able to do it. So I want to hang on to it.
How old were you when you actually made that decision?
Oh, probably my 30s sometime.
Yeah.
Early 30s maybe.
It's that time, party days. Okay, we got to put that aside, and that's we only have one temple,
Yeah. This is true. It gives me the most thrill to make music, and to once you've hit it a couple of times, once you've hit that like sweet vibration in your life, where you've played the best show and the people are all excited and everyone's happy and you're happy and like the flowers are blooming and it like all happens at once sometimes, right? And once you're there, you got to drink it in and kind of remember what it's like. And I feel like I'm always trying to get back or maintain that standard somehow, like this beautiful moment in my life. And if I can like string all those pearls together and have as many beautiful moments as possible, to me that would be a full life. So I don't know. It's not really anything other than a striving in a way. I want to feel good and clear, and I want my artistic, I want my vocabulary to come through. I want the words and the music and the stories that I have to tell to come through without the filter of being, fucked up or something like that, I guess.
Right.
And or having a fucked up voice, and which is cool sometimes too. You kind of go roll with it. You get sick every now and then, your voice. You got to drink a lot of that. I drink ginger and honey tea or something.
Yeah, I hear
like
that's great.
That ever happened. Yeah.
My singer in my band, when we were playing, he would often, get some throat issues, and we'd be playing in bars, and it gets kind of loud, and he's singing over that, and with the cajon, it just, it's funny because you don't realize until like after it's over, then you're like the next day you have no voice, and you're like, okay.
I noticed that singing with the band takes a lot more out of my voice than doing solo stuff, which. That might be another. You just triggered it, man. That may be the reason I love the solo show so much. I don't have to fight.
Yeah, I think that was what he said too.
Yeah, it's like your voice is, save it, God, why not, man?
Yeah. You had 6 albums that you created. How did you record those? Are those like recorded at home studios? Or are they in the studios? What's your
I've had
like?
more than 6. I had but I had 6 on the last label that I was on with was Bebop Records. And so I had a couple before. When I was in the subway, I put out a new album every week, man. You know what I mean? I don't know what that means, but that was the beginning of my DIY career. But
well, you know what? Don't laugh. I mean, look what Stick Figure did, right? I mean, he was making all the things in his home, and then boom, he's like selling hundreds of thousands of downloads and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, now it's like everyone just makes music for them. Hopefully themselves. But just by themselves a lot. But back to answer your question. So the 6 albums that you're referring to, I did those while I was on the Bebop record label, which was with Jeff Irick, and he was also my bass player. And he'd been in the business for years, and so he was a very seasoned, old school record industry type of guy. Like he's got very knowledgeable about the way things have been done up until recently, and even now, he's very good in the music business end of things. So we had a good collaboration, and that really helped me a lot. And I learned a lot from Jeff, and because he's produced tons of stuff. He's produced like the Born in East L.A. with Cheech and Chong album, some of the more famous stuff. He's produced the Blasters. He's produced, he's worked with, I think he's produced T-Bone Burnett. Just lots of people. He's been in the business forever. Anyway, so how we did it was I rented, basically, even though I was on a label, I ended up paying for everything myself, which is kind of how it's done these days. Well, yeah, because I mean, the more you gotta think about this. When you're making a record, the more you invest, the bigger your cut of the pie is.
That's true.
And that's the thing where, like, there was a time I got offered a deal from Universal Records, and they basically wanted to pay me like a lump sum up front, and it sounded like, oh, that's a good, that's $70,000 or something like that. Oh, man,
Which
that
is
sounded
like
great.
tempting. Yeah, hello.
I was ready to sign the thing, and I just talked to my lawyer friend, and he's like, don't do it, man, because once you do that, they own everything, and if you want to put out any kind of a record or anything, you'll have to pay mechanical royalties and stuff on your own music. It was like a big
that's
thing.
crazy.
So
yeah, I know
crazy.
they can really twist those paragraphs around when you see a contract. I mean, I used to do the music publishing deals, and I would look at some of them and say, how did they sign that? Like, that's
what my lawyer said. He's like, don't do it. Don't sign it. And so I figured out, that if I were to just kind of hire everybody that I could, because I'm a working musician, so I'm actually make music for a living, and I'm playing 6-7 nights a week. And this was in New York. Let's say going back to the first record with Bebop, that was 2007, I think. And I was playing already every night someplace, And so I had income. I was able to pay the band, and we were, I could rent studio time. So basically, I just assembled a team of, I hired Steve Rossiter at Actus Sound Studio, and we're just talking about the first record, but it was kind of the model that dictated the rest of them. I had the band. I hired Steve to be an engineer, and this was when he was over in Midtown in New York City, and the whole neighborhood was under construction, so we would have to work between brrr, brrr, of the jackhammer, schedule late night sessions and stuff like that.
Right, because they won't be working.
Yeah, you could feel it in the whole floor was shaking and everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
So needless to say, I was able to get a good deal. You got to cut me a break, right? So
that's when you got to get your New Yorker out.
That's right. That's right. I can't deal with this jackhammer. You're gonna have to cut me to. No, but everybody was cool. It's also people were on board too. Everybody really enjoyed the music. First of all, that's really important. If you can find people to work with that really enjoy the music that you're making, your life is going to be so much better. There's nothing worse than being in the studio with somebody who's behind the board, and it's like, dude, I don't want to work with you, or whomever it is. So anyway, what was I saying?
Which studio was that?
Actus Sounds in New York, and then so that was on the first record, and then I ended up hiring Powderfinger Promotions up in there in Framingham, Boston area.
Oh, okay.
And so Dave Avery up there, he's really good. He's been doing it for years. So and they did a radio promotion, and radio promotion is there's two packages. You can do one yourself, right, where they just send you the label, and that's it. You just pay for the mailing list, or you can hire them for the to do the radio campaign is. And so, I mean, it was really expensive. It's $1.50 to send each CD that you're already buying. You make the CD. This is back when we still making CDs.
Had to burn CDs, yeah.
You burn the CDs. Take the wrapping paper off the CDs, and stick this unwrapped CDs into the envelope. Stamp the envelope. And this was, you're talking about 700 or 800,000. And then you go down with, the post office with the big white boxes and mail them all off, and then wait, and then your job is done. So then David Avery or Powderfinger would take over and start calling it, and you get, he's got relationships with radio stations around the country. And I'm only telling you this because it really helped me with my touring. And I think it's still done, but I think I just got the last bit of daylight with radio. And then you look at these reports that come in every week, and if David is doing his job, which he does, and he was, you see that, KDHX in St. Louis, man, they're playing your song 3 times a day. And then there's a bunch of stations in Colorado that are doing the same thing. And so then what I did was I got on a plane and I went out and I visited all the radio stations.
Smart.
Once again,
very smart.
Yeah. Well, once again, we're back to the personal relationship thing, the art that go together. So I wanted to reach out and I want to know who's playing my music. I really did. I was real curious. I became lifelong friends with some of these folks, too.
That's amazing.
And, well, I mean, it is. It's like a miracle, but it's also, it was so easy. It was just like, okay, I'm just going to go do it. And
but so you made your mind up to do it, and you set that goal. And I think a lot of people, maybe they hesitate because they think, oh, I can't get into that radio station. They don't know me, and who am I? Or, they start having that little bit of self-doubt, which could really stop you from doing something that can just change your whole life around, especially to reach your goals. So you took the initiative and just did it.
Yeah, and it's not to say I had those same trepidations as well, and the same fear and the same self.
Right, but the difference was that you did it. You faced the fear and you did it anyway. Even if you were fearful, you still did it.
Well, I kind of have a policy also. I think it started back in college when they kept asking me. They said, what are you going to do if it doesn't work out? Do you have a fallback plan? I was like, well, I do. I'm going to fall back on my ass, and then I'll take it. And I'll figure it out from there, So
right.
Basically, my advice is paint yourself into a corner and then try to figure a way to get out of it. It's awesome. You learn a lot.
That's so true. So, are you ready for the 11-stroke world rapid fire interview?
I am. Okay.
All right.
Fix yourself.
I love it.
All right. Rapid fire. Boom.
Rapid
Here we go.
Interview. Okay.
7. Favorite food. Vegan. Avocados.
Avocados. Any particular way?
Avocado toast. And actually the ones in Zihuatanejo, Mexico, they call it, oh, God, what do they call them? Anyway, whatever. I don't know what they call them right now, but they put it on a piece of French baguette, and they mash some beans in there with them and put some onions on top. I love that.
That sounds delicious. I may have to try
Molletes, I think.
Sí, muy bien. All right. Your favorite travel spot? Now, I know it's a tough one because you're all over the place.
Oh, God. Okay, rapid. This is supposed to be rapid fire. Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is a little town in Colorado that I'm not going to tell you because I don't want everybody to go
secret.
there. Yeah.
I hear
Secret town in Colorado.
Is it the Garden of the Gods? No.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
No.
No, that's not it.
Because that was one of mine.
Oh, it's beautiful. Right. I was walking in the Garden of the Gods one day. Sorry to interrupt the rapid fire thing. I was walking in the Garden of the Gods one day, and I heard this. I mean, I'm like the only person out there and climbing up this mountain trail, and I hear like a bagpipe. And I'm like, well, shit, I must investigate, So I'm walking up this hill, and I come around this corner, and it's this like boulder, and underneath the shadow of this boulder is a dude with bagpipes. And he's just wailing out here in the wilderness. And I'm like,
cool.
I said, yeah, that's what I was like, whoa, another imaginary friend. Great. Nice to meet you. No, but he was real. He was a bit surly, he was like kind of angry that I had disturbed him in his solitude, but whatever.
You ruined his day.
Yeah. He made mine. I ruined his. Whatever. Story of my life.
And you know what? When you left, he had it back. So
yeah.
It's like, okay. Oh yeah, it is beautiful. I remember climbing. What is it? Where they have like the saints up on the top. Are
we talking Rio de Janeiro or Garden of the Gods?
No, there's one. No, there's one in Colorado, in Denver somewhere. I can't remember what it's called, but you climb up. Oh, Caprese, Francis de Caprese. There's a statue. Mm-hmm. You climb all the way up. I was by myself, and I'm walking up these steps in the forest there, and all of a sudden I'm hearing like a rattlesnake, and I'm like, and then I see a sign, beware of rattlesnakes, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I was like, I'll get bit by a rattlesnake up here by myself, and nobody will find me, and they won't know where the hell I am. But
who will suck the poison out?
Yeah, exactly. Where were you when I needed you?
That's it.
All right. I'm sorry. Let me get back to our rapid-fire interview.
Oh, right. Rapid-fire questions, right.
Your favorite genre of music to listen to when you're not playing?
This week, it's Ethiopian pop music from the 1960s, and I'm not making that up. I've really
pop
been
music
enjoying.
From Ethiopia from the 1960s?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is really a genre? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a dude. His name is Tilahun Gisese, and he, AKA the voice of Ethiopia. And I can't understand. I can't understand a word he says, but on all his records it says there's a little stamp that says explicit. You know, like an advisory stamp. I'm like, that's good. I like it. I already like him, you know, and I like him more. And so, yeah. So that.
Okay. That's a good
That's the true thing. Right now, yeah. My favorite music now is Ethiopian pop music from the 1960s.
1960s. I love it. I'm gonna have to check that out and see what that's about.
Yeah, you really should. You really. Well, it's fascinating to me. Like I've got this weird theory about the 1960s, not just in the United States, but also around the globe. Something happened, and you have all these cultures that had this sort of explosion of expression and like a renaissance. Like look at Iran, and then there was a lot of these countries in Central and South America and all over Africa, West and Central Africa. There was these like people were like getting hip and getting free and getting wild and finding their own mode of expression. And then something happened. I mean, some say, oh well, maybe it was, it
could have been the hallucinogenics, perhaps.
Yeah, it could have been like fundamentalism or whatever, but something happened, like something weird happened, and now it's
maybe
kind
the
of all
aliens
went back into the dust. Maybe
right, and they sprinkled some magical shit on us, and it was like, woo, here we go, let's have a good time.
Yeah,
and maybe that's why the party would last for 10 years.
It could be, yeah, it could be. Maybe it was just the globe waking up. No matter what, and then we hit the snooze button for a while, but now we're gonna. We got to get up eventually, man, because shit's got to get done,
Oh, thank you for saying that.
Yeah, what can I say? I said it. Snooze button.
You heard it here.
Wake up, people, wake up.
That's what I say when I'm driving. Wake up, you sleepy people.
Yeah.
Just sitting at the
light. It's just me. Okay, yeah, I'll just curl up here with the steering wheel for a second. Don't mind me. No. Yeah. Don't do that. Do not do that. Okay.
Do not do that. No.
Pull over and take a nap, people. Okay. I got it.
To hang out with.
My favorite person to hang out with?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a tough question. I hang out with myself a lot, so I'm thinking. Well, there's I really like hanging out with Michelle in Eastern North Carolina at her hippy dippy shop downtown, this place called the Sojourn.
Cool.
And she's a very spiritually knowledgeable individual. We laugh a lot. So yeah.
That sounds good.
I mean that's a tough one because I relish my social life, and so there's so many people that I like to hang out with, but I'm gonna say that one today.
All right, cool.
Chad, I can't deal in absolutes. I never got a tattoo
there's no
because
such
of
thing.
that.
There's no such thing.
I wanted to get a tattoo. I really did. I wanted one so bad, but I kept like, I just changed my mind, man. I don't know.
That's exactly how I feel about them.
Yeah,
I never got one.
Oh, you don't have one either? That's interesting. Yeah,
mm-hmm. I know, probably the last person on earth that doesn't have one.
Yeah, only me. It's like I feel like we missed out on something, but then
I know, but then I'm thinking it's painful, so I don't know if I missed out on anything. Like, all right.
So let me get this straight. You're going to take a needle dipped in some kind of charcoal fluid and embed it under my skin repeatedly for the next day? Yeah. And then I got to live with it for the rest of my life? Okay. Yeah, I don't know, maybe. No, it's not that for me. It's the whole tattoo thing with that. Like I said, I really think it's my own inability to commit to like one idea for the rest of my life, because I realize I'm like, everything changes for me so fast. My perspective, I've grown so much in the past few 20 years or whatever. Nothing is like I thought it was. God, that's proof enough, right?
Yeah,
like
and it's
how wrong I was about everything.
I know what you mean. Like, what were we thinking? I don't know.
I know. I'm just gonna do what I do and just, like, try not to, like, be, you know, that guy and just, like, do whatever it is that I do. And
and it works.
And try to be really good at it, and that'll be it. You know, that's good enough.
Exactly. All right. One thing that you can't leave your home without.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's tough, too, because, you know, I live in my beautiful flying machine. But I'd say my guitar. I travel everywhere with my guitar. And I've been talking to this dude, and I really want one of these travel guitars, the ones that are made out of, like, carbon fiber.
Oh, I saw that. I was like, could that really work? Like, really?
Yeah, I tried one. They're amazing. They're really good. And
are they heavy? Are they light or?
No, they're super light. They're made out of. They're lighter than.
So it's like a tennis racket.
Lighter than wood. Yeah, yeah. And you know, in the commercial, the guys in scuba gear playing it underwater and shit.
No way.
Who knows? But yeah, that's what they do on. You know, on the video, but I can't hear it, but I see the guy like, well. And then he comes up to the surface and plays it again, and it sounds totally in tune. I'm like, well, that happens to me all the time. I really need to get one of those.
What is it called?
Let's see. The one that there was one that I tried, and I think it was called a Blackbird. But there's a couple of good companies out there that make them now, like Emerald makes a good one. McPherson makes one. There's one called the Journey Guitars. I think it's called Journey Guitars. So
cool.
They make the one that actually comes apart and flips over. Yeah, it's cool.
Wow.
I want one. I need one. That'd be awesome.
I remember.
And I want them to make it in a nylon string too, because I mostly play nylon these days, and that's just because that's what I like. I go through phases. Like I said, I can't commit to like one thing for the rest of my life, and artistically.
I don't think we're supposed to. I mean, I don't really think we're supposed to.
I agree with that.
I don't think God gave us all these options and choices to just be bored and stay and do the same thing day in and day out. All right.
I got a little depressed just thinking about that. Go ahead, keep going. Let's move on. Let's keep this river flowing. Keep this train going. I can't stand it.
Rapid fire.
Rapid fire. My favorite pastime? Yes. I keep an art journal, and I really love to. Yeah. I love my art journal.
Are they great?
Yeah, really good. I find out a lot about myself, and I actually, there's something magical happens when you have ideas that are in your head, and then you get them outside of your head, and then you look at them. There's something really magical about that. And so whatever it is, it could be anything. Like, I don't have any artistic abilities. You don't have to. Just put it out there.
Yeah. It's funny because I keep like a notebook by my bed because sometimes I have dreams about fashion designs because I love designing clothes, and even though I don't sew, I just have all these ideas and I keep saying I make a lot of money, I'll have other people make them for me. But I'll wake up and I'll just do these sketches because I took some fashion sketching classes at FIT. It's just so much fun to be able to put that, like you say, to put it down so that I don't forget what the heck it was, because I wake up I'm like, or a great movie scene, like an idea for a movie. I'll just like write stuff down. Do you know Peter Beard at all?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Did you ever see his journals?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, maybe I can't remember. No. Let's say no. I haven't. Yeah.
Well, in Soho on Worcester Street, he had a building there at one point. It was probably in the 90s. He had exhibited all of his journals, and he had these creative journals, visual journals, from all of the time that he spent in Africa while he was there. Like, he kind of took a hiatus from the fashion photography business there, and so he inspired me to start doing those creative journals, and I just loved it because, when you don't have time to write sometimes, this is the greatest thing. You can cut something out, and it's like almost like a vision board as well, because you can put anything in there.
And, totally. It's amazing, right?
Yeah, I love it. And I always say to people, you got to create one. You got to do it, because half the times we always say, oh, we didn't do this, we didn't do that. And then you look in there and you say, oh, shoot, I really did do a lot, So you don't feel so bad about, thinking that you didn't do what you wanted to do, but you realize that, oh, shoot, I really did do a lot.
Yeah, I look at mine and I go, oh, man, somebody's going to get rich one day, man. They're going to post like this. No one's supposed to see this stuff, but that's what makes it so good, They're gonna go, wow, what was up with this guy, man? What was he thinking? Or not thinking?
So tell us, if you could be reincarnated as anyone or anything, what or who would it be and why?
Well, first of all, before I die, I want to know who it is so I could leave all my money and belongings to that person. And then I'd come back as I'd probably come back as Lipbone 2.0.
I love it.
And then I make my way, when I come of age, I'll make my way to a secret safe deposit box, and there's all the Lipbone 1.0 stuff in there. And the journals. Here they are. Oh my God, it's like a mystical tome. Maybe that's what I do. I don't know.
And you buried them in the Garden of the Gods.
Yeah. And who's this mysterious bagpipe player? This is the point in your show where you really should play some bagpipe music.
I think I will.
Okay. There's something very rousing about bagpipe music.
I was actually in a bagpipe band for a while.
You were not.
And, yes, I was. I'm Irish, and although I don't look like I'm Irish, but yes, and I did, and it was so much fun. And I used to have to ride my bike because I didn't have a car, and I was in Brooklyn out in Flatbush, and in the snow, drive my bike like 5 miles to just get to the rehearsals, and it was a bit of a drag, so I stopped doing that. It was just like, I'm going to kill myself for drums. Yes.
I saw somebody, and they had a guest on stage, and it was a guy playing the bagpipes on a unicycle, and I was like, that's rock and roll, man. That's full power right there. I love this.
I wouldn't want to fall with that pipe.
Yeah, no. But you didn't ride a unicycle in Flatbush, did you?
No.
I'm just checking to make sure it wasn't you. Maybe it was you.
No, I did sit on one when I was in New Orleans once back in the 90s, but I don't know how to ride it.
New Orleans.
Very cool.
Yeah.
It's such a great town. All right, well, let's get back to your fire interview, because it's one more.
It's so rapid. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Your favorite guitar company?
My favorite guitar company?
Yeah, maker.
Maker?
Yeah.
Well, I'm really a fan of I love my Cordoba guitar a lot, and I really like that guitar a lot. It's you know why? Because it's affordable. I don't like taking a really expensive guitar on my travels around the world and stuff. I really don't, because I'd be too afraid to
somebody take it on you.
Yeah, smashing it. Like once I was in India, and I was hiking up in Ladakh, which is up in the northern part of the Himalayas, up almost to Afghanistan, Tajikistan, all of like the top of the world.
Wow.
And I had this, and I was just going for like a 10-day trek up into the mountains. It was really hot, and I hired this guy to bring like food and all the stuff, because there's nothing up there. And he had a donkey. And so I put my guitar on the back of this donkey, and I just have this image of this thing going flap, 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 up the I watched the ass of this donkey, for a week and a half, bouncing my guitar around, and in the end, it was just like a mess. It was like, it was all like, everything was like that. It wouldn't hold the tune. It was like, oh, geez.
Wow.
So, but I've done similar things with my Cordoba guitar, and it's super light, and I really like it a lot. So, awesome. and that never happened. It never went out of tune on me. So it stayed in tune very well. Yeah, I like it. So there you go. Boom.
One thing that no one really knows about you, like your close friends, they don't really know about you.
Oh, God, I think everybody knows almost everything about me. Like it's public circus, pretty much. It's like anything you want to know, you can find out. Well, probably one of the things that I really like to read science fiction. How about that?
I'm sorry, you cut out there. Did you say science fiction?
See, it was never supposed to be heard. You see? No one's supposed to know. How did it? You see, it's a yeah. I like.
I'm sorry.
I like.
Say that. I said that.
I did. I'll say it again. I really love to read like epic, like thick science fiction, space opera.
Cool.
Not science fiction, like stuff that takes place. It's usually a book. It's about like 3 inches thick, and it starts out on somebody's story, and then it takes place over thousands of years across multiple galaxies. There's singing and dancing maybe sometimes. Anyway, whatever. That's what I love. I love it. So, and also, I'll tell you another thing. When I'm doing my art journal in the morning in my beautiful flying machine in the parking lot of the pilot rest stop, and you see me in there with the windows closed, I'm listening to opera.
Really? You a big opera fan?
Yeah, I love opera.
Nice.
I really do. I really.
Can you sing it?
Yeah, that's about it.
Wow. That was intense.
You should see. Yeah, I know. Sorry, it's intense. I'm an intense individual. I have intense thoughts.
That's great.
And intense feelings, okay?
That's cool. That's cool. It's all good.
And I like to write in my art journal as I'm listening to opera. I've been listening to M. Butterfly.
Wow. Lipbone is going to be here next month. I really want to go, but I don't.
I love it. Yeah, I'm a big Maria Callas fan. I love her. She's my favorite singer, I think. Love her.
Very
and cool. She's beautiful, and she's got all. I don't know.
Do you have a favorite movie?
I really like The Fifth Element.
That's a good one.
Love that.
That was Bruce Willis?
Yeah, Bruce Willis and actually Luke Perry, who
who just passed
away. Yeah, he was actually in it in the very beginning.
I don't remember that. Oh wow.
Yeah, he was like part of the archaeology team, and and the guy goes, "More light, Aziz, more light." And Luke Perry was in that scene. Yeah. Anyway.
That reminds me of a scene from, I don't know, I was thinking Rocky Horror Picture Show for a second, but it was actually the Frankenstein.
That's closer to my life, really, yeah. I think I'm doing Fifth Element, but really what I'm doing is Rocky Horror Picture Show. Yeah, that's you hit it on the head right there, actually. I've actually got really big boots on right now, and funky makeup.
Perfectly.
I'm wearing a dress.
I think it was still late 90s it was gone. Hendrix's studio there, Electric Ladyland. And
Electric Ladyland?
Electric Ladyland.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, Electric Ladyland studio. That's it. That's the one.
Myself now. I'm like, is that it? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that's it, yeah.
Yeah, I went there to see the Kings play there once, and but they were playing the theater next door on 8th Street there was the original home of the Rocky Horror Show, and it was so great. And I think they stopped doing that, but it was awesome. The good old days, yeah.
The good old days, yeah.
We just go back to the last question.
Good, Yeah. Oh, last question. Okay, all right.
Last question. Your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest pet peeve is usually, and it's really my own fault, I'm pretty sure. It's like I always expect people to take music and the music biz and all that stuff as seriously as I do. And then when they don't, I get really bent out of shape. And I shouldn't. I've been doing it for so long. It's like that whole follow through thing.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like, oh, yeah, hey, look, we're going to get you here. We're going to do this stuff, and you're going to be here, and everything's going to be, we'll get it all worked out. And then, you call them, and you're like, oh, yeah, no, man, it's not going to happen. I'm like, that is my biggest pet peeve. Don't do that, man. Yeah. Did I offer you a false expectation? Oh, me, oh, my. Yeah. So I just, actually I kind of learned to, I don't believe, like I said, what was that thing? It goes back to what I was saying at the beginning. Like 1 out of 20. Right? Yeah, all right. 1 out of 20 people will come through. So I just, because I don't like to disappoint people either. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's why I say I think the fault maybe my own, because I like to please people. It's natural for, as a musician, as an artist. I want people to be happy through my art. I'm not that kind of artist where I want everybody to feel my pain. I want everybody to feel my joy.
Your joy. Right?
So I want to share that, with you and your friends or whomever, whatever. And I think that, when people don't follow through on what they, what they promised, then it really kind of peeves me.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I mean, because you're setting up people. I mean, I always say, if you don't mean it, don't say it. Or if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it. Because people, they may have good intentions when they're saying it, but they set up people's expectations, and then, you look forward to something, and then you have disappointment. Or if you're counting on someone, especially when you're counting on someone, they say, oh, I'm going to get you that van and help you move. And then it's like, oh, right. Was that today? It's like, yeah.
Well, you know what? You just actually made me realize what my even bigger pet peeve is than that. Oh, it's somebody who will not say, somebody who won't just say, I don't know. Like you know what I mean? When you ask somebody a question and they don't know, but then they try to make some bullshit up because they don't want to seem like they don't know.
I've had people give me directions that they didn't know, but they gave me them anyway.
Because they don't want to feel like they don't know. And I would rather just go, I don't know.
I don't know.
Or I would rather somebody just tell me, hey, man, I wish I knew, but I really don't know.
Right,
maybe you could ask somebody else who actually knows.
Exactly.
That if I would have gotten that my whole life, and I would have gotten so much more done. That's probably 10 years of my life has been following people's, hey, man, well, if you just go down here and take a left and then turn right, and then right behind on the other side of that thing, you'll see a flashing sign, and inside there is where you want to be. If I would have just not ever listened to that shit and gone and they would have just
following your path.
Yeah, you'll figure it out. I probably would have been a lot better. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for playing the 11-stroke rapid fire.
You're welcome. What do I win? What's my prize?
I love it. So tell me something. You also teach, and you have these classes, which makes me say, I want to do this one. I want to teach this one. This one you call for the children called The Sounds We Make.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds so much fun. So you teach them what, vocals and rhythm and sound making?
Yeah, it depends on their age, too. Sometimes I just give them a concert and I get them to sing along with me and stuff. And then sometimes we do things where we, it's like we kind of incorporate sounds into a story, and we do like a story time thing like that. It works with adults, too, by the way. Everybody wants to sing along and be part of the action, usually, unless they don't, and that's a real bummer, man. But
then they shouldn't be at the show. You know what I'm saying?
That's
They're in the wrong show.
They're in the wrong place. They should be at church or something. One of those real boring churches where they're not allowed to do anything. Yeah.
You should be home sleeping at the wheel.
Yeah, that's right. You should be sleeping in the parking lot of the Walmart. Go.
And then you also teach it's called the Sonic Prana. Am I saying that correctly?
Well, it's actually called Om Prana Sonic Meditation is what it is. Yeah.
So you play. How do you teach that? How does that go?
Well, it's teaching is more like leading a class or leading a workshop, and we do a lot of breathing exercises. That's how we start with pranayama, which is prana is life force experienced through the breath, more than likely, and then it's the yoga of the breath. What that is.
Oh, okay.
And then we chant a lot. We do a lot of, when I say chanting, it's like toning, but I use the sacred syllable of Om, which, according to the Vedas, it contains the entire universe and all of creation, and the cycle of life and death is contained in that one sound of Om. So we focus on that And then I lead people through a series of exercises where we do, it's like chorusing. And so these really beautiful choral landscapes occur. They pop up like a field of flowers, by the time we're done. It's really beautiful.
Oh, wow. That sounds fascinating.
And that's just the first 45 minutes. And then the last 40 minutes of the workshop usually is what I call a sonic meditation. Basically, everyone, it's the easiest yoga class you've ever been to because everyone just lies on the floor, and, surrounded by pillows and blankets.
That sounds too good to me.
It's awesome. We burn some incense. It's, we dim the lights so, nobody can see the person who's snoring. Mm-hmm. And usually one person snores. I don't know who that person is, but they've been following me.
It's me.
They've been following my workshop for years now. No, it's really beautiful. And so I kind of do a guided meditation, which is, and I play music. And the music that I draw upon is from the Indian classical tradition, usually. Nice. But it's got a little bit of kind of a Western modern thing sometimes. It just depends. And I talk.
Are you playing music with your guitar?
Yeah. Yeah. And I usually do, I tune it differently, and I use a tamburo, or tempura, something, which is like a drone instrument. And sometimes I play the flute. I play the bansuri as well, which is an Indian classical flute. And very cool. I use a lot of scales that are not traditional Western scales.
Wow. Do you read music, or is this something that you're playing by ear? Or?
Yeah, but this is mostly stuff that I've kind of come up with already. Like a scale or a musical world or palette. And depending on the day,
so you actually create the music that's being played.
Oh yeah, I'm playing it, but then what I'll do is I'll fuse it somehow with like Vedic mantras and chants.
Nice.
So I'm going more for a spiritual experience rather than a religious thing too. It's not like this is some religion. It's not that. It's just more. It's the tradition that I learned when I lived in India and I studied with a teacher there. So.
Oh wow! How long did you live in India for?
A year.
Nice. Which part were you in?
I travel all over. I started out in Mumbai, and this is my first trip there. I started off in Mumbai, and then I went to the south, and I went to Goa, and then I went to Varanasi. There I met a teacher named Balaji, who was quite the character, and he's also an instructor at Benares University. And so basically I just ended up sitting with him every afternoon for a few hours. And
so cool.
Part of the family a little bit, and then, So, it's just
nice.
Very organic experience.
Speaking of traveling, you have something coming up in 2020 that sounds pretty exciting. I think you call it your backpack guitar project. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, backpack and a guitar. It is an idea that I had because I travel and tour for the past 10 years in my vehicle and on planes, hotels, stuff. So backpack and a guitar is once again the theme of being more personal with my art. It's where I'm just traveling with a guitar and a backpack, and I want to go around the world. And, I stay at people's homes. I work in art centers and community art centers and do community projects. And I just want to sort of document my travel and document my process of interfacing and communing with people. And as I go, and I literally want to go around the world in a circuit. So
That sounds enlightening. Is there any way that we listeners out there can help with your journey?
Sure. You can go to backpackandaguitar.com. So backpack, BACK, and a guitar, GUITAR.com. Or go to lipbone.com, and you can make a donation there, and you can sign up for a subscription to follow me. I'll be doing a lot of broadcasting and things like that.
Oh, that sounds exciting. I can't wait. I'm definitely going to make sure I put all of that in the show notes. And speaking of which, so you have lipbone.com. Are you also on social media that they can follow you on?
Yeah, if you go to lipbone.com, you'll see all of my social media there. Instagram and Facebook, Spotify, Pandora, all the usual suspects. And awesome. I'm on iTunes and Apple Music. Like a YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. So there's tons
that's
of
wonderful. I'm going to put some of your videos up there, because that night when I saw you, it was pretty dark, and I didn't have my camera that I usually take with me to shows because I was kind of off duty.
Mm-hmm.
I went, and then I had my little iPhone, and I'm like, okay, but it was kind of dark in that Zen zone that she had there, and so the film I took didn't come out that great. But I will definitely put some of your links in the vlog so that I can put that in there as well for them to see you live, because you guys, it's something else. You got to check it out. It's amazing.
Thank you.
It's amazing.
Yeah, if you go to lipbone.com, there's tons of videos there and links to videos there.
Awesome.
I also do other stuff. Like I make a lot of I don't make CDs so much anymore, but I've been making a lot of books lately. You know how people let's do download cards, but instead of that, I've been making all kinds of interesting other items that you can use. And I like to write and tell stories, so a lot of art stories in my little book.
So you're making the books, and are you selling them on the website?
No, only at the shows. People come, because, like I said, they're all handmade, and they're all, I could do a limited run of a couple hundred maybe. And then, and then they're different. And so they're all, right now I'm doing some, it's called Further Travels, Exotic Tales. And it's kind of a promo for the backpack and a guitar idea and tour. And so, and it's a book that folds out into a map that tells the tale of the time I hitchhiked from Bulgaria to Copenhagen.
What?
With my backpack and a guitar. I know, right? I live a wild life. Yeah, and so I don't know. This is one of those experiences. I just want to share it with people, and so that's what I do.
That is stunning. I love it, because
thank you.
You don't hear many stories like this anymore, and it's so unique to see that people, that they could still, that you are fearless, that you will just, go as you please and do what you want, and get your art out there, and I think it's amazing.
Yeah,
so I
person to person. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. You were going to say something really important.
No, I was just going to say I hope you listeners out there will go to lipbone.com and actually help him out, because you know what? We all got to stick together, and if we all pitch in and help each other out, this world will be an amazing place. So do what you can, even if you can only donate $1. Every penny counts. So that's all.
Thank you very much in advance.
You're welcome.
Thank you for
Mr. Lawrence Lipbone, our time is it's actually we are way over schedule, but hey, we're having such a good time. I hope our listeners are going to enjoy this, because you know what? Life is fleeting, and we got to take advantage of it while we have it. So let's just enjoy it and have a good time. That's my motto.
Right on. Move away from the things that make you unhappy. Move towards the things that make you happy.
That's right. And I want to thank you again for taking your time out, because I know how important your time is. And thank you for being here, because I don't know how you do everything you do, But I really appreciate you being here, and I hope that you'll let me know when you're back in the Tampa St. Pete area so that I can catch another show, because I didn't get to see the entire show, which really bummed me out. So I was only there for like the first half of it, and then I had to go because I had another commitment, and I didn't know I was going to be there. So,
well, thanks for being there. And when you, as long as you were, yeah, I should be back in that area in December.
Very cool. I'll put it on the calendar to remind myself, and then maybe catch up with you and get some live footage and add it to the vlog.
Right on.
All right.
Thank you for doing what you do, too. This is great.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. It's my pleasure. And I wanted
best 11 questions ever. Go ahead.
Well, that was definitely one of the most fun rapid-fire interviews I've done yet. So I have to say, and I'm sure my listeners will agree, because that was a lot of fun. So thank you again.
You're welcome.
And to you drummies and drumettes out there, thank you again for joining us this evening. I hope you enjoyed the show. But also, I want you to know that I have this audiobook coming up, and it's called 151 Musically Inspired Secrets to Master This Thing Called Life. And if you go to littledrummergirl.com, that's LILdrummergirl.com/book, you can sign up and pre-order it now, because it'll be coming out in a couple of months. So hopefully you grab a copy now, because I know you're going to enjoy it. Don't forget, it's never too late to begin to live the life of your dreams and leave a trailblazing behind you. So rock on and rock out, and I'll catch you on the flip side.